In this video, I am going to discuss the problems from exercise 3.2. So before we start solving the problem, let us see the formulas that we are going to use to solve the problems from this exercise. So first thing is that knowing about the quadrants and the values of trigonometric ratios in the respective quadrants, right? So this is called quadrant 1 and this is known as quadrant 2. That means from 0 to 90 is known as quadrant 1, 90 to 180 is known as quadrant 2, 180 to 370 is known as quadrant 3, and 270 to 360 is known as quadrant 4. So in quadrant 1, all trigonometric ratios are positive. In quadrant 1, all trigonometric ratios are positive, and in the quadrant 2, the sign is positive. Okay, if sign is positive, cosecant is also positive because cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. And in the quadrant 3, tan is positive. If tan is positive, cot also positive. And in the quadrant 4, cos is positive. If cos is positive, secant also positive. Right? So this is, with respect to the quadrants, the positive or negative values of trigonometric ratios. So I mean to say that if you come across any trigonometric ratio of 0 to 90 degrees, that always gives you a positive value. If you come across a value of angle between 90 and 180, let us say that sine 120, sine 120 will give you positive value, but if you take the cos 120, that gives you negative because 120 comes into the second quadrant. So in the second quadrant, sine is positive, cos is negative. Sine is the only trigonometric ratio which is positive, and its reciprocal is positive, right? So similarly, if you come across an angle something like sine 240, so sine 240 comes into third quadrant in between 180 and 270, right? So in the third quadrant, sine is negative, so the sine 240 will give you a negative value, and cos 240, it is also negative, so that it also gives a negative value. And what about tan 240? Tan 240 will give you a positive value, right? And we are going to use the basic identities, that is sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1, secant square theta minus tan square theta equals to 1, and cosecant square theta minus cot square theta equals to 1. So these basic identities we are going to use. And one more thing is, you can see here, so for every 360 degrees, that means on a complete cyclic on completion of a cycle, that means for every 2 pi or for every 360 degrees, so this any ray, when you take a ray, so if you take that this ray moves in anti-clockwise direction, so of 2 pi, then it comes back to its initial state. So then again it will start from this position. That means for after every 2 pi, okay, after the rotation of every 2 pi, so the trigonometric functions will have the same values. I mean to say that suppose if you take sine pi by 3, okay, it is also equal to sine 2 pi plus pi by 3, because 2 pi is nothing but a complete rotation. After the complete rotation, so this 2 pi plus pi by 3 will be in the same position as sine pi by 3. So similarly, if you take it for sine 4 pi plus pi by 3, So this is also same value as sine pi by 3, right? So like this, any trigonometric functions is always 2n pi plus theta. Okay, 2n pi plus or minus theta. Maybe you can say that. So it will be equal to plus or minus theta. Okay, where n is any positive integer, any integer, n belongs to integers. So this is the condition, right? So the same thing is applicable for other trigonometric functions: cos, tan, cot, cosecant, and secant, right? So based on these few things, we are going to solve the problems. Let us see that. Find the values of other 5 trigonometric functions in exercises 1 to 5. Okay. So given that, if you take the first problem, cos x is equal to minus 1 by 2x, where x lies in the third quadrant, right? So in the third quadrant, we know that tan is positive. Okay. So it is given that cos x equals to minus 1 by 2. So we can take it as sine square x plus cos square x is equal to 1, right? So now we can write that as sine square x, which is equal to 1 minus cos square x, right? And sine square x is 1 minus 1 by 2 whole square. So that minus 1 minus 1 by 4. So that sine square x is 3 by 4, and further it can be written as sine x is plus or minus root 3 by 4. So as this x lies in the third quadrant sine x is negative. That is what we have seen. Third quadrant, that is the only trigonometric function positive and its reciprocal is positive. So that sine is negative. Therefore, since x lies in the third quadrant, x lies in the third quadrant, sine x is minus root 3 by 4. Sine x is minus root 3 by 4. Okay. Now we have got two values, sin x and cos x. Now let us see that tan x. Tan x is, we know that sin x by cos x, tan x is nothing but, so that sin x by cos x. So let me simplify here actually. It is plus or minus root 3 by 2. So that this is minus root 3 by 2. Okay. So sin x by cos x, so it is minus root 3 by 2 by minus 1 by 2. Therefore, 2 to get cancelled and it is equal to root 3. And we got the positive root 3, and we know that tan x is positive in the third quadrant. Now you'll be able to get other values now. So what is secant x and cosecant x? Secant x is 1 by cos x, which is equal to 1 by minus 1 by 2. I'm taking minus 2. And cosecant x is 1 by sin x, which is equal to minus 2 by root 3, right? And tan x, so to get the cot x is 1 by tan x, so which is equal to 1 by root 3. So these are the other 5 trigonometric functions: sin x, tan x, secant, cosecant, and cot. Now let's go to the next problem. Now you can pause and solve it. Now let's see. It is given that sin x is 3 by 5, where x lies in the second quadrant. We know that in the second quadrant, sine and its reciprocal are positive. That means our cosecant x is 1 by sin x, which is equal to 5 by 3. So we got two positive values. Remaining all trigonometric functions are negatives in the second quadrant. So let us use the basic identity, that is sin square x plus cos square x is equal to 1, or the cos square x is 1 minus sin square x, then cos square x is 1 minus 3 by 5 whole square, right? So cos square x is 1 minus 3 by 5 whole square. So on simplifying, you will see that 1 minus 9 by 25 or 25 minus 9 by, so by taking 25 as LCM, you will get 16 by 25. Now what is cos x? Cos x is plus or minus root of 16 by 25. So it is nothing but plus or minus root 16 by root 25. So we can take it as plus or minus 4 by 5. But x lies in the third quadrant, in second quadrant. Since x lies in the second quadrant, your cos x must be negative. So that cos x is equal to minus 4 by 5. If cos x is minus 4 by 5, what is secant x? Secant x is 1 by cos x, that is equal to 1 by minus 4 by 5, that is minus 5 by 4. Okay, when you take the reciprocal of minus 4 by 5, that is minus 5 by 4. Now let's see what is tan x. Tan x is sin x by cos x. So what is sin x? 3 by 5 and minus 4 by 5. So which is equal to minus 3 by 4, right? Tan x is equal to minus 3 by 4. So we know that in the second quadrant tan x is negative, so that it is true. Now the cot x is the reciprocal of tan x, that is minus 4 by 3. Now we have all the trigonometric functions, right? Yes. Now let's see the next question. Cot x is equal to 3 by 4, where x lies in the third quadrant. Cot x is given as 3 by 4, where x lies in third quadrant. So if cot x is 3 by 4, tan x is 1 by cot x. So 1 by cot x, which is equal to 4 by 3. Right? So in the third quadrant, we know that tan is positive. So its reciprocal is also positive. So both tan and cot are positive. So now in order to get the other trigonometric ratios, let us use any one of the basic identities, secant square minus tan square x or cosecant square x minus cot square x. So let us take cosecant square x minus cot square x is equal to 1. So that I will write it as 1 plus 3 by 4. Maybe let me write one more step. 1 plus cot square x, right? So cosecant square x is 1 plus, so 3 square by 4 square, that is 3 by 4 whole square, and cosecant square x is 1 plus 9 by 16, right? So cosecant square x is equal to, so 16 plus 9 by 16, which is equal to 25 by 16. Now on taking square root on both the sides, you will get, it is plus or minus 25 by root 25 by 16. Cosecant x is equal to plus or minus root 25 by 16, so which is equal to plus or minus 5 by 4. But we know that in the third quadrant cosecant x is negative. Therefore, since x lies in the third quadrant, so cosecant x is negative. Cosecant x is negative, that is minus 5 by 4. We have two values here, plus 5 by 4 and minus 5 by 4. So we have to take the minus 5 by 4 since x lies in the third quadrant. So now we have cosecant x also. Now from this we can get sin x. So sin x is equal to 1 by cosecant x, which is equal to minus 4 by 5, right? And now we have to get the secant x and cos x. So in order to get the secant x or cos x, we can use any of these trigonometric identities. Or we can use tan x is equal to sin x by cos x, right? So cos x can be written as sin x by tan x, right? Cos x can be written as sin x by tan x. We have both sin x and tan x values, so let us substitute them. Minus 4 by 5 and 4 by 3. So 4 get cancelled. Therefore, the cos x is equal to minus 3 by 5. Okay. And now if you have the cos x, you'll be able to find out secant x. So I'm writing secant x here. Secant x is 1 by cos x, and secant x is equal to 1 by minus 3 by 5, that is minus 5 by 3. Now we have all the trigonometric functions here. Now let's go to the next problem. Secant x is equal to 13 by 5, where x lies in the fourth quadrant. So let us start with the secant x. Secant x equals to 13 by 5. So we can get the cos x from this. We know that cos x is nothing but 1 by secant x, which is equal to 5 by 13. So we know that in the fourth quadrant cos x is positive, so that its reciprocal also positive. So both cos x and secant x are positives. Now let us try to find out other trigonometric ratios. To get the other trigonometric ratios, let me take it as secant square x minus tan square x is equal to 1. Actually, you can use sin square x plus cos square x also, right? And with here secant square x is equal to 1 plus. We have to find out tan x, right? So let us write it as tan x. Secant square x minus 1 is equal to tan square x, right? So this is secant square x is nothing but 13 by 5 whole square minus 1 is equal to tan square x, right? So tan square x is, so 13 square, that is 169 by 25 minus 1, and then 169 minus 25 by 25, which is equal to 144 by 25. Now tan x can be written as, so plus or minus root of 144 by 25. Take square root on both the sides. So you will get 144, root of 144 is 12 and it is 5. So plus or minus 12 by 5, but since x lies in third quadrant, we know that in the fourth quadrant, we know that in fourth quadrant cos is the only function positive and its reciprocal is positive, remaining all are negatives. So that tan x must be the negative value of it. If tan x is negative, which implies cot x also negative, therefore cot x is reciprocal of it, that is minus 5 by 12. And then let us try to find out sin x. So again tan x is equal to sin x by cos x, right? We can take tan x is sin x by cos x, and then we'll be able to write sin x is equal to cos x into tan x. Now we have both the values of cos x and tan x. Cos x is 5 by 13, cos x is 5 by 13, and tan x is minus 12 by 5. So minus 12 by 13, and cosecant x is 1 by sin x, and then cosecant x is the reciprocal of minus 12 by 13, that is minus 13 by 12, right? Now we have all the trigonometric functions. Now let us see the fifth one. Fifth one is given as tan x is equal to minus 5 by 12, where x lies in the second quadrant, right? So in the second quadrant tan is negative, but what is positive here? In the second quadrant sin is the only function which is positive and its reciprocal is positive. That means sin and cosecant are positives. So in order to find out that, let us take it as secant square x minus tan square x is equal to 1, that is secant square x plus tan square x, secant square x equal to 1 plus tan square x, so that secant square x is equal to 1 plus 5 by 12 whole square. So where secant square x is 1 plus 25 by 144, or 144 plus 25 by 144, and then secant square x is 169 by 144, and then secant x is equal to plus or minus root of 169 by 144. So now what is the secant x value? Secant x is equal to that plus or minus 13 by 12. So now x lies in the second quadrant. Since x lies in the second quadrant, secant x is positive or negative? In the second quadrant, so secant x is negative, therefore secant x is equal to minus 13 by 12. And what about cos x? Cos x also negative, and it is the reciprocal of secant x, so it is minus 12 by 13. Right? Now how to get sin x? So in order to get sin x, let us take it as cos x into tan x. Cos x into tan x. Cos x is minus 12 by 13. Tan x is minus 5 by 12. So that it is plus 5 by 13. Minus 5 into minus 1 here. So the plus 5 by 13. So sin x is 5 by 13. And it is true, right? In the second quadrant, sin x is positive. So we got the positive value. And the cosecant x is the reciprocal of sin x and is equal to 13 by 5. Right? It is the answer for fifth question. Now let's see. Find the values of trigonometric functions in exercises 6 to 10. So here we have to use the concept of 2n pi plus or minus theta. I told you, right? After every 2 pi, so we'll see the rays coming back to its initial state, initial position, so that we can take 2n pi plus or minus theta equal to plus or minus theta. Okay, for example, in the sixth question, what we have? Sine 765. So we have to see that how many 2 pi's it is nearby. Okay, sine 765 is near to what multiples of 360? Okay, so if you see from 360, it is far away, almost 405 is far away from 360, so that we'll take 2 times 360. So 2 times 360 is nothing but, so can I write that as sine of 2 times 360, that is 720 plus 45. So as I told you, sine 2n pi plus or minus theta is sine plus or minus theta, so that sine 2 pi is always, it is always in initial position, and then it is equal to sine 45 and is equal to 1 by root 2 is the answer. Similarly, when you look at this cosecant minus 1410, again see what multiples of 360 is near to 1410. So 2 360s we have seen 720, and then 4 360s, 720 plus 720, 1440. So I will take it as sine 1440 minus 30, 1440 minus, right? So actually we have minus 1410, right? So that we should take it as minus 1440 plus 30. That will give you minus 1410, right? So either minus 360 or plus 360, it will come back to here. Okay, whenever you take a ray here, so let's say it starts from here, it is some 30 and then 60 and then 90, so 135, 180 and then 210, some 270 and then 300 and then 360. So whether you go in the anti-clockwise direction or clockwise direction, for every 360 it comes back to its initial state, so that after 4 360s, okay, the value remains same as the theta whatever you have here. Okay, so that this will be equal to minus 440 plus 30. But I want to take it as sine minus of 1440 minus 30, right? So sine minus then 1440 minus 30 is number 30, So sine minus 30. Sine minus 30 that is minus sine 30. So which is equal to minus 1 by 2. Right? I hope you got it. See, instead of going in a clockwise direction, okay, instead of taking this ray in the clockwise direction, if you take this in the clockwise direction, then 30 will come over here. Instead of that, I have taken in anti-clockwise direction, right? And I have added 30, so that also we got it as minus 30. Okay, both are same. Now let's see the next question. And 95 by 19 pi by 3. So it is same as the previous problem. So we can see that how many 2 pi's are there in this tan 19 pi by 3. So I can write it as 19 by 3 as 16. I mean 6 3 is 18, so 6 1 by 3 pi. So it is nothing but tan 6 pi plus pi by 3 1/3 pi. So 6 pi is nothing but, it has the same value as tan 0. So that will take it as tan pi by 3. What is tan pi by 3? Root 3. Okay. Now let's see the ninth one. Ninth one is sine minus 11 pi by 3. So sine minus 11 pi by 3. First what we can do is, we know that, okay, sine minus theta is minus sine theta. Sine minus theta is minus sine theta. Therefore, minus sine 11 pi by 3. Okay. So minus sine 11 pi by 3. So sine 11 pi by 3 is, let's see how many 2 pi's are there in 11 pi by 3. So 11 by 3 can be written as 3 2 by 3 pi. Am I correct? 3 3 is 9, 9 plus 2 11. So it means that minus sine 3 pi plus 2 by 3 pi. We can do that. And then further it can be written as minus sine 2/3 pi. 2/3 pi is nothing but, it is 120 minus sine 2/3 pi is 120. And just we can write as 2 pi by 3, and then we can try to find out the value of it. Now let's see how to solve the ninth one. So ninth one is sine minus 11 pi by 3. So sine of minus theta is nothing but, sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. We can write it as, so that I will write it as sine 11 pi by 3. So let us see that how many 2 pi's are there in 11 pi by 3. So we can take it as minus sine of, I can see that 3 2 pi by 3, right? To the 3 2 by 3 by pi. But what we require is 2 pi or 4 pi, multiples of even number, right? Multiples of 2, right? Generally 2 n pi is required. Either 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, 8 pi is required. So how can we write? Let us try to write the same. So, generally what we have here is minus 3 pi plus 2 pi by 3. Okay. So now in order to, convert this 3 pi into 4 pi, let us add plus pi and subtract pi plus 2 pi by 3. Now 3 pi plus pi is 4 pi. So minus sine 4 pi minus pi plus 2 pi by 3 is minus pi by 3. Okay. So that 4 pi minus pi by 3. So which is equal to sine of 4 pi minus pi by 3, that is minus pi by 3. Again sine minus theta, so the minus you can take out, so that sine of pi by 3, which is equal to, we know that sine pi by 3 is nothing but root 3 by 2. Okay, this is the answer for 9th one. Now let's see it for 10th one. Cot minus 15 pi by 4. More or less similar here. So cot of minus theta also minus cot theta. So it can be written as minus cot 15 pi by 4, right? So minus cot 15 pi by 4. So 15 pi by 4 can be written as, so 4 pi, right? See, 15 pi by 4 is just 3 fourths, 12 pi plus 3 pi, right? 12 plus 3. So instead of that, what I would write is 15 pi plus pi minus pi by 4. Why I have taken 15 pi plus pi minus pi? Because if I add pi here, I will get 16 pi by 4, 4 pi. It is a multiple of 2 pi. Okay, directly I will get 16 pi. By looking at the denominator, you can decide. So where to stop? Maybe you have to stop at 8 pi or 16 pi, 24 pi. Either you have to take 8 pi plus something or 16 pi minus something, right? So that we will get the multiples of 2. 8 by 4, 16 by 4, right? 20 by 4 is not a multiple of 2 because it's 5. Similarly, 12 by 4 is also not a multiple of 2. 12 by 4 equals to 3, right? So that minus cot 16 pi minus pi by 4. I will write it as 16 pi minus pi by 4. Further, it can be written as minus cot 16 pi by 4 minus pi by 4, right? And is equal to minus cot 4 pi minus pi by 4. So 4 pi minus pi by 4 is just before the 360, so that we will take it as cot of minus pi by 4. I told you, right? Anything cot 2 n pi plus or minus theta will be equal to cot plus or minus theta. If it is minus theta will come out, plus theta will come out, right? So now it is in the fourth quadrant. Cot minus pi by 4 is nothing but in the fourth quadrant. In the fourth quadrant, cot is negative, right? In the fourth quadrant, it is maybe instead of that, you can directly take this negative outside by using cot of minus theta is minus cot theta. Minus cot theta. Therefore, minus into minus plus, so that we will have cot pi by 4. We know that cot pi by 4 is equal to 1. That's it. That's the answer for 10th question. I hope you got it. Thank you. Thank you for watching.